Okay, hello and welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
Today we are really jumping into something big. We're looking at LinkedIn, but not the usual tips and tricks. We're going right to the top.
Yeah, the absolute summit. We're talking about mega influencers.
Exactly. People with what? Over 1 million followers. We've been looking at some really interesting source material, specifically a presentation by Carol Mergel.
That's the one. It breaks down LinkedIn strategies by different levels, and it really focuses on what happens, what changes when you hit that mega influencer tier.
So our mission really is to unpack that. What does it actually look like to use LinkedIn when you're operating at that scale?
And maybe more interesting for some listeners, how do companies even approach engaging with someone like that? It's a whole different world.
It seems like it because we're talking to people who often have like celebrity status already, right? Global reach.
Definitely. They can influence public opinion, shift industry conversations. It's beyond just being a niche expert. Their LinkedIn presence is part of a much bigger picture.
Understanding their playbook, even if, most of us aren't aiming for 1 million followers.
Okay.
It can tell us a lot about influence online, period.
Absolutely. There are core principles at play. So yeah, let's dig into these sources and see what we can pull out.
Okay, so kicking off. The first thing that jumps out from the presentation is that hitting that 1 million follower mark isn't just like more followers, it's a fundamental shift.
Totally. The source material makes it really clear. At that level, your LinkedIn profile stops being just, your online resume. It becomes, very explicitly, an extension of your wider public persona.
Okay, so less about here's where I worked and more.
Exactly. Your past work is the foundation, sure, but the content becomes about reinforcing your status. You're seen as a global thought leader.
So you're solidifying that authority, maybe across a few fields even, because fame takes you broader than one niche.
Precisely. Your audience is huge now, international, different industries, so you can't just talk about, one specific software feature anymore.
Right, the strategy has to broaden out.
Yeah, the source calls it broad industry impact and visionary content. It's about weighing in on the big stuff.
Like global economics, future of tech, high-level strategy, things that hit a wider audience but still show you know your stuff.
That's it. Big picture commentary that resonates broadly.
Okay, but wait. How does one person actually do that? Consistently creating high-level content for over 1 million people? That sounds exhausting.
Well, yeah, this is where the scale thing really matters. The presentation is clear. Mega influencers generally aren't doing this alone.
The team.
The team is critical. It's not just nice to have, it's pretty much essential.
So they're handling the content curation, the scheduling, making sure it all sounds right.
Yep, quality control, making sure everything aligns with the influencer's established voice, their brand, their overall message. It's about scaling the person without them needing to be logged in 2004/7.
It sounds less like managing a profile and more like running a media operation.
That's a really good way to think about it, actually. And a big part of that operation involves using their existing clout for, major collaborations.
Collaborations. I mean, with big companies.
Real quick.
Global orgs.
Exactly. And we're not talking simple shout-outs here. The source describes these as real strategic partnerships. Think joint research, big campaigns, maybe even getting involved in policy discussions.
Wow.
These partnerships let them tap into other huge networks, amplifying their own reach even further.
So it's moving way beyond just interacting with peers. It's institutional partnerships.
Definitely. And another thing they do, strategically, is showcase their involvement in major global events.
Like keynote speeches at the really big conferences, World Economic Forum type stuff.
Yes. They actively promote that they'll be there, and then, really importantly, they share content from the event afterwards. Videos, key takeaways.
So it's not just saying, look where I am, it's reinforcing their authority on a global stage, using LinkedIn to amplify their real-world influence.
You got it. It's like proof in action. And the source also mentioned it's not just about the professional side either.
Oh.
No, philanthropy and social impact are woven in. At this level, they're really encouraged to highlight their work with social causes, community projects, that kind of thing.
Supporting charities, advocating on big issues.
Precisely. It adds another dimension beyond just their industry expertise. It builds maybe a deeper connection. People follow for more than just business insights.
And it shows commitment, Helps maintain that positive public image, which must be crucial with so many eyes on you.
Vitally important.
Okay, so we've got this picture. Broader content, leveraging existing fame, needing a team, huge collaborations, global stage presence, social impact. It's a massive undertaking.
It really is.
So, flipping the coin, how do companies get involved? How do you actually work with someone at that level?
Right. So the sources touch on using LinkedIn's corporate features, but yeah, it's not like reaching out to someone with 10,000 followers.
I bet.
The presentation is very direct about this.
Mm.
It requires significant investment.
Significant meaning. Serious money.
Oh, yeah. Substantial budgets.
Yeah.
And you're generally not just sliding into their DMs.
No.
Almost always, you're going through their professional management, their PR team, their agents. You approach the representatives.
Okay, makes sense. And the campaigns themselves. Probably not off the shelf.
Not at all. The sources describe them as highly customized, very strategic. Everything's carefully designed to fit the influencer's specific brand, their audience, and the company's goals. It's bespoke.
A tailored partnership for massive scale.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so that's the view from the mountaintop. A whole different strategy, teams, global scope, big budgets. But does any of that high-level stuff connect back to, the rest of us building influence? Did the source mention the basics that still apply?
Oh, absolutely. And these foundational practices, they're crucial for everyone, no matter the follower count. In fact, you could argue they're even more critical for mega influencers because the baseline expectations are so high.
The consistency, right. Just showing up regularly.
Fundamental. You have to be visible, stay relevant.
And authenticity, being genuine.
Yes. A real voice, real passion that cuts through whether you have 100 followers or 1 million plus. People connect with that.
Offering value, too. Giving useful stuff.
Always. Always lead with value. Educate, inform, maybe inspire. That's the core of building any audience.
Engagement seems key as well. Responding to comments, messages.
Huge. Fosters community. And you can imagine, at the mega influencer scale, just managing engagement is... Well, that's another reason the team is essential. The volume is immense.
Yeah, I can see that. Profile optimization. That feels like table stakes.
It's your digital front door. Make it clear who you are, what you do, what you offer. Has to be sharp.
And finally, analytics. Watching what works.
Got to pay attention. See what resonates, what doesn't, and adjust your approach. It's a constant feedback loop.
So, okay, these universals, consistency, authenticity, value, engagement, optimization, analytics, they're the bedrock.
They are.
The mega influencer strategies we talked about, they're built on top of that foundation, just scaled up dramatically with added layers like teams and global partnerships.
That's a perfect way to put it. They're amplifying those basics with more resources and leveraging their existing broader public status.
So when you sort of connect all these dots, from the basics to the mega level, you really see the mechanics of influence, don't you? How large-scale communication works on these platforms.
Yeah, it becomes clear that perceived authority at that top level isn't just luck. It's constructed. Deliberate strategy, partnerships, support systems, showcasing impact. It's all managed.
And thinking about how that applies to, your own situation, listening to this, how you understand online authority or build your own presence.
Exactly. Even if you're not aiming for global fame, the core ideas hold true. Providing broad value in your niche, playing to your strengths, making strategic connections, showing your values. That works at any scale.
It does make you think about the evolution of LinkedIn itself, though.
How so?
Well, consider this. As these huge figures, these global names, use LinkedIn not just for jobs, but to extend their whole public persona, get involved in massive initiatives, showcase philanthropy, how does that change what the platform is? Does it blur the lines between, like, a personal brand, business impact, and maybe even public leadership?
That's a fascinating question. What does that mean for the future of professional identity online when a professional network hosts global leaders discussing world issues alongside people looking for their next job? It's definitely evolving.